Hi, this is Raj from MR Sportscars. I'm going to take this beautiful 991 Turbo S for a drive. It's actually having spark plug change, brake fluid change, check over, and also we're going to go refurb the wheels. Going to change these very tired looking centre locks, and also we've got new centre caps as well to go with them. I'll just show you what the decent centre locks look like when they come from the factory. This is what they should look like versus what state these ones are in, so they're going to be redone. And we've also got the old centre caps, brand new ones in there. These ones are very tired actually, not flat anymore. Those, would you believe it, are over £80 each, so very expensive outlay. Centre locks are, I think, around £200 each, so they're going to be changed over at the workshop. And I'm just going to film as we're going through over to there and tell you exactly what this car is like to drive. Love how these start up. This is the flagship road Porsche in my opinion, and this is a real high point I think throughout the generations. The 991 Gen 1 Turbo S, so it's a 3.8 litre twin turbo, 560 horsepower, 553 foot-pounds of torque, just a monumental amount of power. It will do 60 in under 3 seconds. I think it's around 2.8, 2.9, and it is super comfy. It has luxuries like the panoramic sunroof as standard, it has Bose as standard. It has the 18-way seats as standard, so they're the ones that have got the hard backs, but they've got full electric for everything, including adjustable bolsters on both sides, height adjustment, knee support, lumbar support, all on memories for the driver as well. You can just get in this car and drive, but at the same time, it's got the ability to do 198 miles an hour, where permitted, of course, but that kind of power is, and that kind of speed needs a huge amount of respect from the driver, whilst at the same time it is fully drivable. It doesn't feel intimidating when you're behind the wheel. I mean, I just love getting behind this because it feels just, if you drive it very relaxed, the PDK, the 7-speed PDK drives very docile. But if you turn up the modes, if you drive more aggressively on the throttle and the brake, everything picks up, and it just, changes into a completely different animal. Now this car we've just recently picked up, it's only done 31,000 miles. It's a 2014 model year car. I think it was registered December 2013. I believe from the owner that I bought from, it's only got 2 previous owners. The first owner was a very wealthy billionaire family, and so they spec'd it up, bought it from Porsche, and then traded it in probably for the next model on when that came out. So it's, as a result, been very well looked after as well. And I'm just taking it to the workshop to have a few bits done. The last owner had a minor oil change and filter and pollen filter done, but it was actually due also spark plugs and obviously a brake fluid change. I think he was nervous about doing the brake fluid changes because some workshops will insist on taking the wheels off to do that, to access all the bleed valves, and it's if you dropped a wheel on one of the carbon ceramic brakes, those beautiful yellow calipered huge discs, it would instantly or more than likely damage them quite badly. So, and that's a very expensive replacement cost for those. There we go, it's just picked up as I've just gone to the national speed limit, and it is just an absolute flying machine across the country on a B road like this. Lots of nice sweeping corners, even undulation, surface imperfections are just handled with aplomb, and you can hear the turbos spooling, you can hear them boosting, you can hear the overboost, the spits and the cackles from the exhaust. And this is all completely standard. This car hasn't been modified whatsoever. It's standard exhaust. I mean, the technology in this car is just insane. I mean, it's got rear wheel steering, which, if you've seen some of my other videos, I've explained this process. It turns the rear wheels, again, we're only talking fractions of a degree or a couple of degrees at most. The rear wheels, it turns in the opposite direction under 30 miles an hour, and then it turns them the same direction over 30. And basically what that means is that when you're manoeuvring at less than 30, it will give you a tighter turning circle, so it will feel more agile. And then at the higher speeds, it then moves to the opposite, which gives the effect of almost having a longer wheelbase, so it's more stable at the higher speeds going through corners, because it's giving you that sort of feeling of it just has a longer, more stable wheelbase, and it does it so naturally that you don't know it's doing it, but it just feels incredible, absolutely amazing. Fuel lights just come on, which isn't a surprise. Yeah, I absolutely adore these cars. I had a lovely white one with the two-tone garnet red and black extended leather. This one is all black but with the carbon inserts, just like that one had as well, and some other nice options as well, like the sport design steering wheel. It's just such a beautiful place to be. It is really the ultimate everyday supercar, and people say it and they almost say it with almost like a dismissiveness of that's not a big deal, but really to get, I mean, this is now 11 years old, 2025, 2014, 11 years, and it still feels absolutely sensational. It's still all held together. It hasn't had any major remedial work. All it's had is the servicing and the bits that need to be done at certain times, like spark plugs, drive belts, that kind of thing, brake fluid changes. Nothing out of the ordinary, apart from the odd switch. I think the boot lid switch has been replaced, the window switch has been replaced as well, but they're all available at Porsche, and that's why we stock Porsche. That's why we are Porsche Specialist, is because you can still get everything on these cars from the Porsche factory in a short space of time. You can get them next day if you order from Porsche Reading directly. So it's, yeah, the perfect setup, because you've got these cars that are engineered to perfection. You can take them apart, put them back together again, and it will all go back. It's not glued or stuck together. The interiors don't fall apart with age or mileage, I find personally. And it just feels so perfect behind the wheel. People know what it is, the iconic shape, the iconic sound of a flat six when it fires up is still alive and kicking in this era, and that's why I say it is, for me, the high point, because these feel as fast as anything else on the road, and comfortably are just on par with any other daily driver, but with increased levels of feedback. Going back to the technology, it also has PAA, so Porsche Active Aerodynamics. So the front spoiler drops and actually gets bigger. It drops like a flexible plastic front splitter, and the rear spoiler also goes up, which is more what you'll be more familiar with. But to have that front and rear aero And also the rear spoiler does actually tilt as well, so it has two modes when it's upright, and then it has also a front tilted setting as well. It has the active drivetrain mounts, which come with the Sport Chrono system, which is standard on a Turbo S. The Turbo S basically had pretty much everything thrown in that you would need, and then it was all about just tailoring and customizing it to your fancy. So you could have, I don't know, colour inserts on the interior rather than carbon or silver. You could have leather air vents, the vanes. You could have contrast yellow, red, blue stitching, silver stitching if you wanted to, and the list just goes on. You could have an embossed armrest, illuminated door entry guards. So much was available for you to then customize it to your taste that you could really make it your own. And that's the kind of philosophy you get with every Porsche if you order it new, and it makes buying them actually second hand quite tricky, because at any one time now, one of these, there might be only maybe half a dozen up for sale. So it's knowing what's available and also compromising on what you want on a 10-year-old car. So say if you wanted one with black leather with blue stitching, blue exterior, you might be waiting quite a while for that car, but they are out there. It's just you might have to wait a while before one comes up with that spec. And I just focus on finding really nice, very well spec cars with the right provenance, so the right service history, and then we do all the work necessary. So things like those center locks, they do get grubby at this kind of age. It doesn't matter what people do with them, whether you use acid or non-acid wheel cleaners, they all seem to sort of corrode, and I suspect it's more to do with the salt. So driving it in winter with the salty roads, that's probably more likely to be the culprit of causing them to sort of, the surfaces to degrade. And changing centre caps and things, I mean, that's just things we just do. And then obviously just going over the car and making sure that everything is as good as it can be. So brakes, tyres, pipe work, all the servicing and everything. The spark plugs, yes, it's only done 30,000 miles. It is every 4 years or 40,000 miles. In theory, some people would say, well, it hasn't even done 40,000 miles yet, but I go by what Porsche say, which is you use the time interval. So it's due every 4 years. It's due this year, so it's going to get done. Same with the brake fluid. The interval's every 20,000 miles or 2 years. So I'm doing it at the 2-year interval as it should be. But everything else has been done as it should be already this year. So it should be quite a straightforward job. The wheels also are getting refurbed, and again, that's quite a tricky job with the centre locks. There's only some wheel refurbers that will be able to sort of strip them down, obviously take the tyres off, valves off, and do a proper job on the lathe and paint them, then lathe them, then lacquer them, and obviously oven bake them and shot blast them before all of that as well. So that does add a little bit of complication. But yeah, I mean, this car, as even driving in a docile manner, it still feels alive, because you still feel it moving. You still get the communication through the steering. It is electric steering, but it's a very good system, I think, in the turbos, and this Turbo S is no exception to that. It just drives absolutely beautifully. Following quite a wide lorry here down a narrow lane, so it is quite slow going, but I'm not too fussed about that. Just open up the panel roof, just the rear of it. I mean, with this much power on tap, in all honesty, it just feels good driving it, knowing that you've got basically the ultimate road weapon. And I do, for road driving, I would definitely get one of these over something that's more harshly sprung, like a GT3 or obviously a GT2. This is super comfortable. Long journeys, there's no issues. Rough roads, there's no issues. Passengers likewise can also be very comfortable, and obviously this has 4 seats rather than 2 seats that you get in the GT3s. the suspension is just set up perfectly. With that switchable sports suspension PASM, it also has PDCC, which is Porsche Dynamic Chassis Control. That means it's got active anti-roll bars, so they actually level out the whole suspension setup as you go around corners on the fly. It's wizardry to me, because there's no body roll whatsoever. I've had 911 Carreras with it also, specially spec'd on those cars, and it really does handle unlike anything else when it's in that mode with the PASM. So you get a nice firm ride, but also zero roll, zero bumping over harsh road surfaces. It's just, yeah, absolute perfection. Well, this is, I think, a time when I should just finish up this video and yeah, head on over to the Porsche workshop so that they can get on with the work, and then we can finish prepping the aesthetic side and the documentation side. But it's yeah, it's a sensational car. Hopefully when this video comes out, it will be for sale, so you can have a look at it, read about it as well on our adverts. I do take time to write the adverts properly, produce a PDF with all the service history and everything, and hopefully that provides enough of an insight into the car, as well as uploading the original sales brochures again, which that's something else I love about Porsche, is how well they market these cars when they're new, and you can still find all the old brochures. They go to town with, it's not just like a half a dozen page brochure about the car. They're normally 60, 80, 100 pages long, and they go through all the different aspects of the car: engine, suspension, what the body's constructed out of, and then all of the amazing options you can get in colours. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do like and subscribe, and if you have any questions about 911 Turbo S's, don't hesitate to comment below. Thanks for watching.